DNC signs its own death warrant. New rule has Democrats jumping ship. After the momentous victory of Donald Trump to the White House, and the other big GOP wins across the country, I mentioned the Democratic Party needed to reform. It was clear that they lost big largely due to their terrible and toxic policies. While there are plenty of liberals in America, especially on the coasts, the vast majority of Americans don't agree with the radical platform of the modern regressive left. More and more we are seeing Democrats side with hate groups like Black Lives Matter, socialist-loving terrorists like Antifa, and bizarre, unscientific policies of the transgender community. How many Americans want their little girls sharing bathrooms with tranny men? How many Americans are happy about safe spaces in colleges or students torching schools because of a guest speaker? I wrote that unless the Democrats reform and return to more traditional American values, they would continue to lose. Oh, but instead they are getting even more aggressively liberal. Congrats, you guys. From Breitbart. Democratic National Committee, DNC, Chairman Tom Perez's announcement that pro-lifers are not welcome in his party has planted the seeds of rebellion among some Democrats and sharpened the view that the party is now primarily defined by its embrace of abortion on demand. Every Democrat, like every American, should support a woman's right to make her own choices about her body and her health, Perez said, as the HuffPost reported. That is not negotiable and should not change city by city or state by state. According to The Atlantic, Democrats are now newly divided, as they attempt to decide who they will welcome, and who they will exclude, amid soul-searching over how the party should rebuild after its 2016 loss. Perhaps the most heated issue in the United States will be the one to ultimately divide and destroy the Democratic Party. We've already seen traditional liberals leave the party thanks to the hostility and close-mindedness of many Democrats. After seeing the shocking hypocrisy of the left, many Americans are flocking to the right, when they realize conservatives are more open-minded and welcoming. Believe it or not, there have been liberal leaders who vote pro-life. And there are many Americans who vote Democrat over other issues, but consider abortion to be evil. I wonder how many Black Americans, with strong Christian convictions, will be able to stomach the party after this announcement. Will they be able to support a party that forces them to support such a barbaric and vile practice as abortion? The fact that Perez is taking such a strong stance is characteristic of the knee-jerk, reactionary behavior of the left in the aftermath of the 2016 election. Trump is very pro-life and has been dismantling Obama's pro-choice policies. The confirmation of Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court paves the way to a possible overturn of Roe v. Wade. We may be looking at an American that will outlaw, at least on the federal level, the terrible practice. The Democrats' response? To double down even more on embracing and defending a practice that many Americans find abhorrent. Recent days have seen liberal leaders taking a stand in defense of free speech, as liberals riot over conservative speakers. More and more liberals are shocked to find how intolerant their base has become to differing views and basic, American freedoms. This new move will only further alienate Americans from the DNC. In a short time, we may not even have a Democratic Party.